All right, this is our worksheet on complex numbers. Complex numbers. So the first question says, what is 3i times 4i? So this really brings up the first thing I want you to know about I, and I is just our imaginary number. The definition of I, which actually doesn't come up as much as you would think, but the definition is the square root of -1. That's our definition. But something maybe even more important I want you to know is I want you to know that I times I, which is equal to I squared, just for the record. So this is equal to -1. This is a really important thing to know. I'd rather you know this than that, actually. So I times I is -1. So here I'm going to kind of combine like terms. So 3 times 4 is just 12. And I times I is -1, like we said here, right? So this is equal to -12. Okay? Here, I'm going to combine like terms. So the imaginary parts go together, which is 6i and 2i. And the real part, there's only one real part here, so it's just going to stay the same. So what is 6 minus 2? It's 4. So I get 4i, and over here I have plus 4. So I just put these two together and kept the real part the way it was. Okay. Next is the kind of problem you're going to see a lot on the test. And for this problem, I want you to remember that if I have a square root of a negative number, like square root of -5 or something, I can always pull out the minus sign, and when I pull it out, it's going to turn into an I, okay? So I have I, and what's left over? Just root 5, okay? I root 5. So that was an example, but let's do our real problem now. So here, if I pull out my minus sign, I get I root 25, and are we done? Not really, because this is a perfect square. So I, and the root of 25 is 5, right? So this is I times 5, and this is most often written as 5i. So there you go. Okay, square root of -18. So here, we'll start the same way. We'll pull out the minus sign, which becomes then I have I root 18. And now I want you to do what's called rationalize, and your calculator can do it. So I want you to type in square root of 18, just like that, and I get 3 root 2. So what's left over? I have I times 3 root 2, okay, because that's the same thing as the root of 18. And the way we write this normally is 3i root 2. So there's our answer. I just changed the order. Whenever you're multiplying, you're always allowed to change the order. So here's a question just like the one you might see on your graduation test, or just like a question you could see on your graduation test. So it's the same idea. I have -50. I want to pull out my I first. So I get I root 50. And now I want you to use your calculator again. So I want you to type in root 50, and you get 5 root 2. So our answer must be I times 5 root 2, and they change the order kind of like I said they would. So we get, I guess it's this one, 5i root 2. Okay. The next problem says, what is the value of 5 plus 2i plus 3i, or 2 plus 3i, excuse me, minus 3 minus 7i? So your whole job here is to combine the real parts and to combine the imaginary parts. So the real parts are 5, 2, -3. So 5 plus 2 minus 3 is equal to, I think it's 4. You can use your calculator, but I think it's just 4. And 3i minus 7i is minus 4i, because 3 minus 7 is minus 4. And that's answer choice A. Not too crazy. Our next problem says, what is the standard expression, blah, 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 of 50 plus root -5? So this one's not too bad, actually. All we're going to do is we're going to pull out the minus from the root 5, and it becomes an I, so I have I root 5. So it's really just 50 plus I root 5. So our 50 we can't do anything with because that's our real part. So the real part and the imaginary part, they can't really play together. They have to stay separate, and that's what we see happening. So our answer is C. Okay, one more problem, a lot like this problem. I'm going to combine real and imaginary parts. So I have 2 plus 2 minus 1. Those are my real parts. So that's 4 minus 1 is 3. And here I have 3 minus 1i. So that's the same as 3 minus 1, which is 2. So 3 plus 2i, which is not an answer. I made this problem yesterday kind of late at night, and I probably made a mistake. This should say, and hopefully the worksheet you have has this corrected. If not, then that's okay. This should say 3 plus 2i right there, I think. Yeah, that'll do it. So the answer is G with a minor modification.